Alright, today we'll talk about peonies in warm zone. So this is supposed to be zone 9B, close to zone 10 almost in the Bay Area, southern Bay Area, California. And peonies need cool winters. So they need probably I think 6 odd weeks with lows below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So we kind of get that here in the South Bay. It gets chilly in the winters. So this is an attempt to see if they make it. So of course this is the first year. So we've got some grown plants, some in between, some bare roots. So we'll look at all of them and see how they're doing. And I'll probably send some updates later in the year to see if any of these bloom. And hopefully they survive for a couple years, and then we'll see if they naturalize and take off. So this one is called Cytherea Peony. I think it's a single or semi-double that we got for $50. This is the most expensive one. This is a full, almost grown plant we got in Half Moon Bay Nursery, and you can actually see buds. You can see 1, 2, I counted 6 the other day. There's another one there, there's another one here, there's another one here, and so on, right? So this had a lot of eyes, pretty mature. I think this was grown in Monrovia Nursery, the growers, and then it was sold in Half Moon Bay Nursery. Yeah, so $50 is quite a bit, but we wanted to see something bloom this year. So we got this one, and it looks really healthy so far, touch wood. And yeah, like I said, it had like plenty of eyes. I mean, it had more than 10 growth shoots. So we thought it was totally worth it compared to the other peonies we get, bare root, which have only like a few eyes. So yeah, so this one should bloom, and we'll see how it looks. So this is I think a deep pink semi-double peony, Cytherea. And right next to it we got one from a peony grower in the Bay Area. So there's one, it's called I'll put a link in the description, I think called Charmion Peony or something like that, in the East Bay. And then this was given to us in a container. It was just about to sprout. It was $30. This one's called Christmas Velvet, and as you can see, it's a much smaller plant, still healthy. Yeah, probably has 3 growing points, so 3 or 4 eyes. And this one actually has a bud too. You can see one bud there. So hopefully we'll see it bloom and it won't drop that bud. And yeah, so we got this in late February, and so she has the grower has a huge property with tons of peonies growing. She has tons of varieties that she sells in the Bay Area. We were surprised about that. And then yeah, she has all the way from about $25 to even $55 for the eye-top peonies. So this is a double, red colored double called Christmas Velvet, like I said. So yeah, maybe in the first year it's not gonna give a ton of blooms like the other guy next to it, but it's probably at least gonna settle in, and we'll see how it does. So that's number 2, going by price. So that's 50, this guy's 50, this guy's 30. And you can see this one is called Ball of Beauty. I think it's a single, maybe it has some 2 different colors. And you can see this was pretty healthy. This we got in online, called dutchflowerbulbs.com. You can see 2 growth points. I think planted this like a week ago. This looked very healthy. I'll put some photos in the end how it looked bare root. This we got bare root, about $8-9, so not too bad. And then we'll see how it does. So yeah, this was the bare root online. Looked pretty healthy, and we have a few more on the other side that I've planted. So yeah, so the best ones we planted in our raised bed. because the peony grower in the Bay Area where we got the Christmas velvet told us to pamper it a little bit, so we are. So it's taking up a lot of real estate in my veggie garden. But yeah, and others are in ground. Try to raise it, try to lift it up a little bit, and hopefully the in-ground ones also will do well. You can see all our other plants. So here you can see this one was very lanky. This one I think is called sorbet. Again, it has a frilly inside, I think, pinkish color. It had quite a few eyes, but lanky eyes. You can see it was fully white when we got it. Again, bareroot from Dutch flower bulbs for $9. It's turning reddish and hope it is growing, I think. So yeah, we'll see how it does. But a lot of lanky, skinny eyes. A decent chunk of the root as well. Probably pretty worth it for the $9. And there was another one called Coral Peony, Coral Charm, I guess, and that's under here because you can't see it. It had about 3-4 eyes, decent looking, but not very large eyes. So I just buried it at the surface. So they say you shouldn't bury these too deep because they need that chill factor, and if you bury it too deep, they don't bloom. So it's right under the surface, but yeah, the eyes are not poking up yet. Still, the DutchFlowerBulbs.com, $9. Yeah, yeah, it's not too bad there. And then let's see here. The worst one was probably the one we got at Home Depot. So we initially found it at Home Depot. It was like $6. This one is the Sarah Bernhardt. This is the one we really wanted. This is the most common one, the double pink, light pink. And they gave us a tiny root cutting which had just one eye, and we were really disappointed. It grew. We got another one, a reddish one, which never grew, and that we asked for a refund. But this one grew. I mean, you can see it's lanky and small, and like we didn't know about this when we got it, but it's probably going to take several years for this one to bloom. So the lesson learned is to get a big chunk of bare root with many eyes. This was probably like few inches long and with one eye. Yeah, it still grew, but yeah, like you can see, it's probably not gonna do much for many years, if at all it survives. And then there was another piece of bare root that fell off from one of the pots. We separated it. This is the Christmas velvet again. It was not connected to the main bare root, so we planted it here. It looks okay. It was a pretty big chunk of root, so we'll see if it makes it here. So yeah, that was it. So we will hopefully see some of these bloom, some of these take root and, you know, establish themselves over the years. They say these grow for decades. We're probably going to move them at some point, so that's probably not a great thing, but this is just an experiment to see if these rebloom in this type of weather. We've seen peonies in the Gamble Garden in Palo Alto, and they seem to be doing well, but it's hard to say if they plant or do something special for the cooling part of it, whether they remove it and move it around or whatever, but we don't see it too often around here in the Bay Area. So we'll see if these make it. The South Bay gets a little chilly in the winters. It's hit freezing sometimes, but it doesn't do that very often. It doesn't do that for long periods of time. So yeah, since these need the chill, and we'll see how that does. Actually, on that note, you can see all our spring bulbs. Actually, the daffodils are pretty much done. You can see some even here. They did great. So we planted these last year, and they've divided a lot, and they've settled in. And we were surprised the tulips also came back. So tulips also need a lot of chill hours. You can see some of these are a little opened and almost done because of the heat. They're getting to about 72 degrees today. got a warm spell, but yeah, so if tulips make it, that means we get pretty chilly or chilly enough for them to thrive. So some of them have reproduced. You can see the pairs. You can see like a pair of yellows, pair of pinks, pairs of reds in the background, and one more pair here. So that means they're all multiplying. So, and they're getting the chill hours and they're blooming. So that's a good sign that we get pretty chilly here. So must help the peony as well. We'll see. Apart from that, what's going on? We have some freesias blooming. We have gazanias, the always loyal gazania. It's putting on a decent show. See these? And even here. And then these pom-pom daisies are always great. See them doing well. You can see my sweet Allison. Listen, other ranunculus are starting to come. There's some more. The pom-pom daisy. You can see this ranunculus is starting a bit early. Next is the nemesia. And then there are some buds coming too. My bearded iris are starting to grow. We got these last year. They were doing nothing for the whole year, and this year they're taking off. So hopefully you'll see some nice blooms there. There's one more here. Got my sweet peas slowly taking off. You can see them along the fence. Here too. Pretty slow grower so far. Maybe it's not warm enough. But yeah, hopefully this railing or the trellis will be covered by them soon. Some bearded iris. Actually, these are Dutch iris. Dutch iris here. You can see this one's right about to bloom. This Dutch iris. So yeah, so far so good. Have a nice spring so far, and some sunny days finally. We've had a lot of rain and cold, gloomy weather. You can see some of these anemones. The potatoes are doing great. This is the best I've seen. We got these from nursery in Livermore, seed potatoes, really healthy seed potatoes, really cheap too, much better than the ones we got at Home Depot, and they're doing great. They're in 10-gallon grow bags. We have 3 varieties, put 4 seed potatoes each, so hopefully they'll do well. And again, we have a patch of these pom-pom daisies. They just, again, we got these last year, divided them, and they're doing great. They love this weather. It probably will end soon. They don't like the heat. And I have a gladioli strangely already blooming, which is strange because they're normally supposed to bloom later in the season, next to my new solar water fountain. You can see the panel up there. Another ranunculus blooming a bit early. Actually, there was one here too. You can see this guy also blooming a bit early, the yellow one. And there's one, I think, here too, blooming a bit early. But yeah, a lot of these gladioli have flower spikes. You can see along the railing, and they have multiple flower spikes. It's crazy. I've never seen that. You can see this has 3, and many of these have 3 flower spikes. These are called harlequin flowers in the family of Ixia, Freesia. They look pretty nice. They didn't do this well last year, and the corms are lying around, so I thought I'd plant them and see what they do. So they've done pretty well. You can see a few shades of whites and reds and oranges. And then there are these what are these, carnations? Doing pretty decent. It's pretty new. Rose bush we got from Home Depot has 1 bud, but so far it's just starting to grow. And all my cool season plants pretty much done. You can see the primroses are winding down. Got these double primroses, which are really pretty. Never had these before. They're doing pretty well. A single primrose here, a cyclamen, some more pom-poms, and a mix of other things. So yeah, that's about it. The vegetable garden is just about to start this year. Just have cilantro and spinach so far, and some of the garlic growing, you can see, and onion just about to kick off. You can see the small seedlings. Look at all. And the peppers, hopefully some will wake up. We try to overwinter these here. Maybe 1 or 2 died. Hopefully some will make it. And then gotta see if I have space for anything else. The peonies have taken over, so see how that works out for us. Yeah, look out for updates in the future. See how the peonies do.